Okay, so now we're going to talk about another concept of object-oriented programming, which is polymorphism. So polymorphism, one of the ways to achieve polymorphism is through method overriding. So what does it mean? This is very similar to the previous example where we had inheritance. Again, we have inheritance, we have an animal class, we have a dog class, which is extending the animal class, and the cat, which is extending the animal class. But we have the talk method in the animal, right? So it means that any animal can talk. And then the dog is changing, right? So animals, they talk, we don't know how, but the dogs, they change it, right? The behavior, they say they will bark. And then if the cat is there, then they'll change the behavior of the dog. It is in meow. So in this case here, right, we have the talk method in the parent class, and we have the override of the talk method in the child classes. Again, we're going to code this one, and we're going to see how it is in the Java code. Okay, see you in there. Okay, so now we're going to code the example that we showed on the board. So let me go here. Let me create a class of animal, class animal. And in the animal class, we are having only one method, public void talk. So every animal can talk, right? Every animal can talk. How do they talk? Let's say the animals, right? Since we don't know what they'll say, let's say here, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So every animal can talk. Now we're going to create a dog class. Okay. I'm making this example as simple as possible so that it makes sense. So the dog class will extend the animal class. We have inheritance here, right? So the dog class has all the properties from the animal class. Now here we know that a dog already has the talk method from, right? That is inherited from the parent, from the animal. But the dog can override it. We can say here public void talk, and in this case, when a dog talks, he says he is barking, right? Barking. Let me just say here barking. So as you can see here, guys, we have this green arrow showing that we are inheriting, right? We are inheriting, or actually we are overriding the talk method from the parent. Okay, that is something here, the green arrow that shows that we are overriding it. And let me create here another class, cat. And in the cat class, again, we're going to extend, right? We're going to inherit everything from the animals class. And here again, we want the right public void talk. So again, the cat will talk, but of course she will, right, or he, whatever the cat is. We don't know what the cat is. Meowing, right? It will be meowing. So also, right, one thing that we can do here, we can annotate. We can put this annotation here, override, which is telling that we are overriding the talk method from the parent class. We don't have to write as we did in the dog class. We didn't write it, but of course it's good for us to put this annotation, because if we are not overriding, if you're by mistake saying talking, and that's now we're not overriding, we're just creating a new method, Java tells you that you're trying to override. There is no talking method in the parent. That's why this annotation is very helpful. Okay, so let me just remove the ing here. Now again, we're going to have a barn class, and in the barn class we're going to create some animals, right? So barn class, here we're going to have a main method, of course, and then here we're going to keep creating animals. So let me create an animal. Animal A1 is equal to new animal. So what I did here, I created an animal, right? I created an animal, and I am storing it as an animal, right? So I can create an animal object and store it into this variable here. But of course, I can also, right? I can also create animal 2. I can create a dog and store it as an animal. Can I do it? Yes. Why? Because of inheritance, right? Here, what we're doing, we are upcasting, right? Always upcasting. We are creating a dog and we're storing it as an animal. Then we can also create a cat and store it as an animal. Why? Because of inheritance. Now, later on, I can create an array of, right, animal array. And here, I can store animals, right, in plural, is equal to new array. So in this array, I'm going to not store numbers or strings. I'm going to store animals. How many do I want to store? I want to store 4 of them. Okay. So The first one, animals with index 0. The first element will be this A1 here that I have, right, that I have created, A1. The second element in the array is A2. I'm storing the dog there. The third element, or the one with index 2, is the cat that I've created. And also I can create another one, animals with index 3, which is the last one. And here I can create a dog, new dog. So create a dog and store it in the animal array. Again, here we're doing automatically upcasting, okay? We're doing here upcasting. So now what we can do, now we can iterate all these animals in this array, right? So for every element, for every animal, right? Element in the animals list, in the animals array, I will get one animal from there, and then I will make it talk, and I'll make it talk, right? So since this is an array of animals, every element there is an animal, right? So get one element, which is an animal, and then make it talk. So element dot talk. So of course, this one looks easy, right? And it looks like every element will talk the same. But we're going to see here, right? That's because of polymorphism. We're going to see here, let me also put it here as a note, polymorphism. We're going to see here that every animal will talk differently. So when I run this one, we'll see that one of them says blah, blah, blah. One of them is barking. One of them is meowing. One of them is barking. Why? Let us debug. Always when we want to understand what's happening there, we debug. So we created an array of animals and we put them into this array here. And from this array, we get the first animal. We get the first one. And when we make it talk, since it is an animal, if I hover the mouse, since it is an animal, it will talk as an animal, right? So it will talk, it will say blah, 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 right? So that's why here when we debug, that's what it does. When we get the second element, even though that's an animal, actually inside there, that's a dog. How do I know? Here it shows me that's a dog. And also when we make it talk, you'll see that it's not saying blah, 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 but it is barking. It is using the talk method from the dog class, okay? Why? Because it's behaving, even though it's an animal, it's behaving as a dog. When we get the next one, let me see, it is a cat, so probably it will meow. So instead of using the talk method here, right, instead of using the talk method here, which is blah, 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 it will be using the talk method here in the cat class. Why? Because that now the cat has overridden, right, has overridden the way that it's talking. So if you don't believe me, we go inside there and we see that it is going in the method in the cat class. It's not going in the method in the animal class, okay? So that's why here it's yellow, and then we go back, and then of course it will be meowing. And for the last element, again, when we try to make it talk, it will talk as a dog. Why? Because this element here is also, the last element is also a dog. That's why here we see that polymorphism means that even though we're getting animals one by one from the array, they are behaving differently depending on whatever is the object inside, okay? Okay, have a good one.